Hey, my Pilates people, welcome to my channel, Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today I have for you a kind of a unilateral rotation focused reformer session today. You will need your box, your reformer, of course, and I don't think we'll be doing any kneeling, but if you do need a pad for kneeling, right, I just say always have it handy just in case. Sometimes I pull stuff out of the hat on the fly. All right, so springs. I have 2 mediums and 2 light springs. So for my balanced body, I have 2 reds, a blue, and a yellow. Now, with that being said, as always, please, please, please honor your body. You need to make adjustments for your springs. You need to make adjustments for your body, right? Please, please do so. So box, reformer, 2 mediums, 2 lights. Headrest is up in your comfortable position. Let's do a little bit of footwork and then we'll get moving on to other things. So go ahead and have a lie back. Make sure that you're centered on your carriage here. All right, and then let's go all 10 toes on, hip socket distance apart. So the big toes should be a little bit more on top of the foot bar than in front. So that way the pinky toes can have a really solid connection to the foot bar. Let's take a moment here to just find that long line out through the crown of the head and down through the tailbone. So let's just take a couple of those deep kind of east and west Pilates breaths here. And just start to feel that connection to your center, the weighting down of your tailbone into the mat, the broadening of the collarbones, the reach of the fingertips down and into the mat. So I'm already thinking like, okay, chest expansion here. My heels are neither super high nor super low. They're somewhere in between. Now on your next inhale, I want you to press the carriage out and then exhale, drag it home. Inhale takes you out. Exhale pulls you home. Now I can already feel today for me, my ankles, my heels, for whatever reason are like trying to wing out. So I'm gonna think of like I've got a ball between them and I've got just a gentle hug in on the ball, still staying parallel and still keeping that balanced weight across my toe pads. Now, if you're good with your ankles, I want you to shift your focus to the rest of your body and just see, okay, how stable can I keep my spine, my pelvis, my ribs, my arms right now while I'm moving up against resistance? And typically with Pilates, it's not what's moving, it's what's not moving, which is typically very humbling. Now go ahead and press the carriage out. And just take a moment again to just maybe relax the shoulders a little bit more so the neck can elongate. And now with straight legs, drive the heels under the foot bar and then lift the heels up. So toes feel like they're reaching up and over as the heels reach down and under, and then lift back up. Now in order to keep your spine and pelvis stable here, I like to think of the back of my legs dragging across the floor even as my heels lift. And I say that 1,000 times, but as I said that, I felt my calves kick on a little bit more as opposed to letting my pelvis shift to lift the heels. Let's do 2. Last one. Now drive the heels under, keep that sensation, and now slowly bend your knees. Bring the carriage in just a few inches and hold here. Can you push the heels down a little bit more? So it's a flex at the ankle. Yep, and now keep that pulling down sensation on the foot bar as you come all the way home. Little lift of your heels when you're in, press it out, drive the heels under, so actively flex your feet. Slowly bend your knees, pull down on that foot bar, pull down on the foot bar, come all the way home. Now again, press it out, heels under. Slowly resist, 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 resist. 2 more here. Pull down, pull down, pull down. Oh, that stretch is so nice, especially my left ankle. Pull down, 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 down. Awesome. Let's come onto the heels. hip socket distance apart, so feet are flexed. Think of the bottoms of the feet staying up against an imaginary wall. All right, they're gonna stay there. Press the carriage out, hold here, check your feet. Are they still up against that imaginary wall? All right, and then bend the knees, come all the way home. Again, press it out, and then drag it home. And I want y'all to play around with this idea of kind of pulling apart on the foot bar, almost like you had a ring or like a band on the outside of your ankles, and you were just trying to keep tension in the band, all while keeping the legs, knees, shins, and the feet parallel. And keeping weight right through the center of those heels, which is tough. All right, let's do 3 and 2. Arms are still weighted into the mat. Last one. Now bring the carriage in halfway and hold here. Feel that both sides of your hips are equally rooted into the mat. You're gonna keep that pelvis stable. Bring your right leg up into tabletop and then lower it down. Bring your left leg up into tabletop and lower it down. Slow and steady here wins the race. So how little can every other part of your body move while we do this marching? So carriage stays out. And that includes the carriage, right? Definitely harder as I lift my left leg up. I feel like I have to really focus a lot more. Tiny but mighty. Good, we have 2. Last one. Now everybody lift your right leg up into tabletop. All right, your feet are still flexed here. Little pulses out an inch and in an inch. So I want everybody focusing on that left butt crease muscle here. Spine is still neutral, chest is still open, arms are still weighted. Let's do 3, 2, 1, keep the carriage out in that half position. Right heel comes down, smooth like butter. Left leg comes up into tabletop. All right, we pulse. Again, trying to get equal weight down into your butt here, into your hips. And also into your ribs and your shoulders. Oh, this side's tougher. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Place both heels back down, and now send the carriage all the way out and then resist as you come all the way home. All right, so I'm gonna inch away from the shoulder blocks a little bit. It's okay if your headrest is up, okay? Just be aware if it is up, right? Because we're gonna do the babiest bridge you've ever done in your life. So I want you to press down through the arms, take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, tilt your pubic bone back to your navel, find a tiny tailbone hover and pause. All right, so some butt cheeks might still be touching the mat. That is okay. And then melt right back down. Let's do that again. Exhale, tilt your pelvis back, tiny tailbone hover. Hold, 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 and then melt back down. All right, again, tilt it back. Keep pulling the carriage in. Ribs are still heavy and a lot of your back is still on the mat here. And then melt back down. Last one. Pelvis tilts back, neck elongates even more. Now hold this tiny hover, press the carriage out, and then drag it back in. I don't want your legs to go fully straight today. I want you to go to that point where you really feel your seat kick on and you're like really fighting to keep that tuck of the pelvis. Inner thighs are at the party, so find that kind of like hug in while keeping the legs parallel and right through the center of those heels. That's where we're pushing through. Let's do 2. Major hollowing out of the belly. Last one, pull the carriage all the way in and then round down through your spine. Awesome work. Let's now go ahead and drop the headrest all the way down. Okay, so let's stay on the heels. I like that. All right, and then keep the arms weighted down. And you know what? All right, so headrest is gonna come down. Let's take your hands on the back parts of your shoulder blocks. Now, if you've got handles here, you can always hold on to the handles. Elbows can go to more wide position. But if you're able to, palms are pulling down on the shoulder blocks and your elbows are kind of pointed up to the ceiling. I want you to bring your legs into tabletop. Really squeeze the inner thighs together. And when you do that, kind of pull down on the shoulder blocks, it should glide kind of your armpits down your side body, right? And that should keep your neck long and tense free. So I want you to shift your legs over to the right and then back to center. Shift the legs over to the left and then back to center. Now pause here in the center. Take a peek and just see that your knees are level. All right, now keep them level. Legs shift over to the right. So the left hip is gonna lift just a smidge and then back to center. Over to the left and back to center. Good. One more time each side. Back to center. Last one. And then back to center. All right, now we're gonna add kind of a little roll to this. So my legs now, or my knees are gonna come in towards my right shoulder. I'm gonna let my tailbone curl under. Yep, little tuck there. And now I'm gonna roll down my right side, shift the legs past or over the foot bar, shift over to the left, bring my knees towards my left shoulder, little curl under, and then back around. It's a little baby corkscrew prep, right? Exhale as the knees pull in, and then back out. I don't know if you can hear that shake in my voice. Exhale, knees pull into the left shoulder, and then back out. Don't make this a crazy big inversion here. I want you to make it really tiny, focusing on the low abdominals, so that way we can really open up the low back here. Let the arms help you where you need. Exhale, knees into that right shoulder, and then back across, knees into the left shoulder, back across, and now just go ahead and find center, and then lower the heels down onto the foot bar. All right, hip socket distance apart, arms are weighted into the mat. So just take that, what you just did as far as using the stomach muscles to find this kind of articulation down one side and the other. Take that and apply it here to your bridge, right? So arms push down, big breath in. On your exhale, roll your hips up. Come up into a higher bridge now, wherever you can, and pause here at the top. Think pubic bone higher than your 2 hip points. Your chest is nice and open and soft. And now I want you to drop your right hip down a little bit. And now we're gonna roll down the right side. Roll down the right side. Shift the weight now over to the left side and roll up your left side. And now find center, square yourself off. Left butt cheek drops down a little bit. We're gonna roll down. Think of sending the hips away from your chest. Roll over to the right side. Take your time with this, y'all. Find center. Think of stretching your body, your spine in 2 different directions. And when I say be careful here, you know, sometimes this twisting into the lower half can not feel so nice. So feel free to make this as tiny as you need. But I am hoping this feels good with some work. Like for me, I'm getting kind of a stretch in my upper back a little bit where I need that rotation. All right, so everybody meet me here up at the top. So we're square. All right, both hip points or your pubic bone is really lifting up here. Now keep that lift and now press the carriage out again and then pull it back in. All right, so we did this earlier, but now we're doing it with higher hips. All right, inhale out, exhale pulls you back in. Is the weight still right through the center of your heels? Let's do 2. And last one, bring the carriage all the way into the stopper and then melt all the way back down, down, down. Fabulous. All right, bring your knees into your chest. We're just gonna do a little bit of ab work before we finish out with this bridging. So Hands go to your right shin. Straighten your left leg out over the foot bar. If it's available, I want you to curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. All right, so really work the push of the shin up, still equally pulling in, right? So you're creating your own tension here. And now switch legs. And switch. So something I want you to focus on here is how stable can you keep the rest of your body, all right, as our legs move, and obviously the arms are moving a little bit here too. For 3 and 2 and 1, bring both knees into your chest, all right? Feel that the tailbone is heavy, and now stretch your arms up to the sky, all right? Think of lifting your sternum up through your arms, and now straighten your right leg out, and then switch legs. All right, so same single leg stretch here, only now the arms are up to the ceiling. Even if you have the head down, your arms are still stretching up, and we're still trying to limit the movement of everything else right now. Let those inner thighs kiss as they pass in space. For 4, 3, 2, 1, bring your knees in, and then lower back down. Awesome. All right, let's come back onto the heels. Still in that kind of hip socket distance apart. Weight down into the arms. Roll your hips up, find bridge. Once again, check all your boxes. We're not in our neck. Our arms are heavy and long. And now, smooth like butter. Bring your right leg up into tabletop. And then lower it back down. So we did this marching with the carriage out and the hips down. Now we're doing it here with carriage in, hips up. Of course, if you wanted to up the ante here, you could raise the arms up to the ceiling, take away that base of support. You do you. Think of your belly kind of sandwiching up against your spine. Now everybody lift your right leg up into tabletop. All right, that right leg, you're gonna thread it underneath your left leg. So allow the right hip to drop down and then bring it back up. Thread the leg under. So upper body stays square to the ceiling. It's your lower half that's twisting and rotating. Stay steady that carriage. Almost said stable. Either one. Ooh, that left hammy is talking to me. You've got 3 and 2. Check your neck, y'all. And last one. Up, heel down, left leg up into tabletop. Go right into it if you can. Thread the leg under and then back up. So how stable can you keep your right leg here? As I said that, it just wobbled extra. And you're still thinking of that pubic bone like lifting up. So we're not going into like a crazy back arch here. Ooh, that right hammy is talking to me. It is, it is. Let's do 3. Hang in there. And 2. And last one. Whoa. Bring the leg up, place the heel down, and then round down through your spine. Awesome work. Take your right ankle over your left knee, and then drop the legs off to the right. And just breathe into this stretch. Let gravity do its work. Let the weight of your right leg do its work. And then on your next exhale, lift the legs back up to center. Go ahead and switch legs, right heel down, left ankle over your right knee. Just carefully let this shape just shift over to the left. Just breathing into those tight places. All right, next exhale, carefully bring the legs back up to center. Awesome, bring your knees into your chest. Grab onto the back of the legs, push the legs into the hands into your legs, and roll yourself up. roll yourself up, up, up. Okay. Now I want you to come down to two, I lied, one medium, one light. So for me, I have a red and a yellow. So the yellow for my reformer is the lightest spring I have. I'm going to lower the foot bar all the way down. So medium and your lightest light. All right. Remember, you can always adjust. So let's go ahead and lie back down. Headrest can come back up. All right. I want you to take both straps together. Okay. So now I've just got a palm over palm here. All right. So my hands are in my long loops. If you feel like you need more support, you can always take the hands into the short loops. All right. So I'm going to bring my hands kind of like over my chest a little bit, right around there. And then I'm going to bring my legs up into tabletop. All right. So there's an equal push with my arms. So my collarbone is nice and broad. It's the same thing as if you had both hands into straps here. Okay. So just find that neutral pelvis, neutral spine. So ribs are sinking down, tailbone is heavy. Just hold here for a moment. Now that little tick-tocking of the legs, we're going to play around with that here. So can you keep your arms and hands exactly where they're at? And now shift the legs over to the left a little bit. Keep the knees level and then back to center. Shift the legs over to the right a little bit. And then back to center. Notice the bigger your shift, the more the arms want to like go to the opposite direction to counterbalance. And back to center. Now to add on to this, if you want to do straight legs, right? Now think of the big toes being besties. Legs go over to the side and back to center. Over to the side and back to center. Tiny but mighty. Keep working that elongation on the sides of your neck. Good, one more here. Whoa, back to center. All righty. Go ahead and bend the knees. Now open the knees wide. All right, so almost like the soles of your feet come together. And just hold here for a second. Whew, I don't know why I'm just shaking all of a sudden. And now bring the knees together. Open the knees wide. Think soles of the feet try to come together, even that pinky toe part. And then back to center. Soles of the feet come together. Obviously, they're going to pull apart as your knees come together. So by bringing the entire sole of the foot together, right, hopefully you're feeling like, oh, my knees have to go really wide. My hip muscles have to kick on here. If you're tight. For two. Last one. All right, now open the knees wide. Only your right knee is going to fan in and back out. Now your left knee comes in and back out. So you're just going to alternate here. My brain's having a hard time telling my body what to do here. All right. Last one here. Keep your left knee wide, but bring your right leg into more of a tabletop position here. So your left leg is going to stay really still. Your right toes, they're going to tap down to the foot bar and then back up. Tap them down to the foot bar and back up. So the base of the ribs, they got to stay bolted down to the mat, y'all. And I don't know about you, but I'm shaking like crazy. Keep that left knee wide for 3. Inhale the leg down, 2. And last one, lift the leg up, fan the right knee out, left knee comes in. Inhale, tap it down, exhale, lift it up. And you know, I forgot to say, if you want, you can curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. I am feeling plenty challenged right here. Don't let me stop you. All right, keep the shoulders gliding away from the blocks. Oh my goodness. Let's do 3. Arms still haven't moved. And 2, holy cannoli. Last one, bring the legs together, slowly lower them down. Awesome, hang up your straps. Wow, that was fun stuff. All right, shake it out, and let's go ahead and roll you up again. Let's switch it to a light spring. So not your lightest, but if you have 2 light springs, go the heavier of the 2. Headrest comes down. Let's now go ahead and flip you around. Face the back end of your reformer. Cross the legs if you need. All right. In fact, if you do have to cross the legs, let's do right leg over left leg. Let's do that. All right. So I'm going to take just my right hand into the long loop. Okay. I don't care what you do with your left hand. It can mimic what the right hand is doing. We're going to kind of roll through this quick because we have several things. So we'll do kind of lighter reps. So I want you to sit up tall. All right, find that inner thigh connection and think back of the legs pressing down here. So my right arm is gonna stay straight. It's kind of out to the side because it has to clear the carriage. And I'm gonna pull that arm down and back and then pause here. I'm gonna keep working that pull apart of my collarbones, the lift of the crown of the head up, and then slowly release that arm back forward. So just a single arm chest expansion. I'm gonna lift tall. So as my arm presses down and back, I'm thinking of my fingertips reaching down to the floor, but my ribs trying to really lift up off my pelvis and then forward. For 2. Last one. Now hold that arm there. All right, again, think, could my spine get taller and could my right arm also get longer? All right, I want you to turn your head to the left and then back to center. Turn your head to the left again and then back to center. One more time. Turn your head to the left and then back to center. Awesome. Slowly release that arm. Oh, that's nice. All right. So I'm now, take your left hand around your stomach. I'm going to row that right fist into my sternum. Okay. So from here, again, legs stay zipped up. They stay pressing down. I want you to roll yourself back. Find that kind of half roll back and then pause here. Weight is equal into your hips. Your gaze is just right at your toes and then roll yourself all the way up. So if you've been taking my classes for a while, right, I teach a lot of classical and this is just your rowing back. We're just doing it with one arm. So hold here in this back position. That right elbow is kind of wide, but also reaching forward. So my upper back feels nice and open. And then roll yourself back up. All right. Again, roll yourself back. Think pelvis pulling away from your thighs. Now I want you to keep the shape of your spine. And now let that right hand kind of fall away from your chest and then curl it back in. I think that was a bad cue there. Think of this as just like a bicep curl from the side. And kind of like a variation on hug. Keep trying to round through that low back as much as you can and also trying to stay square. Let's do 3 and 2 and the last one. Pull the fist to the sternum and then roll yourself all the way up. Alrighty. Now let's bring both arms up to a 90-degree bend. All right, so already right now I feel like I'm really being pulled right now. So I'm gonna try to square myself off as best I can. Legs are still energized. And now hinge back with a flat back, and then lift yourself all the way up. So right now this strap is trying to pull my right side forward, all right? But I've got to think of like almost it going back and my left side going forward to counteract. Stretch back, and then lift all the way up, up, up. Good, again, inhale takes you back, hinging right off those sitting bones, and then lift all the way back up. Ooh, hello right shoulder. Yep, again, stretch back. go back, all the way back, and then lift, lift, lift. Awesome. All right, I'm now gonna take my left hand onto that rope, or onto the, like just above the buckle here, okay? So I want you to square yourself off here. So row your left elbow kind of to the side, reach your right arm forward, all right? Now, as your left arm reaches forward, my right arm is gonna reach back, twist back, and now I'm just gonna lean forward a little bit, and then stack my spine up tall, row the left elbow out to the side, reach my right arm forward. So I am gonna find a little bit of a twist here, and then left arm comes forward. So my right arm stays straight the whole time. Little reach forward, little reach forward. Think of spiraling up the entire time. Right arm reaches back. So find your right upper back muscles here to twist you open. Last one. Open up your wingspan. Think a little bit more weight into that left hip, and then back to center. Awesome, we have a whole nother side to do. I'm kind of sweating today. I don't know. Alrighty. So let's uncross, recross the legs. Left leg over right leg. Try not to hook the ankles, right? I want this inner thigh connection to actually come from your inner thighs. Okay, so again, we're sitting up tall. All right, left arm stays straight. It's gonna reach down and then back, and then holds here. All right, how long can you get that left arm? How tall and lifted can your spine be here? And then slowly release. It's coming right from your armpit. Hold, 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 and then slowly release back out. You got it. Again, think of that really broad collarbone, nice proud chest, and then slowly release. I don't know. I've taken a couple days off. I don't know about you, but I'm just shaking. My legs are shaking. I'm sweating today. Good, couple more here. Good, reach down, lift up taller, and then release. All right, on this next one, we're gonna hold it back there. Hold it back there. And now turn your head to the right with no shift in the shoulder girdle, y'all. Oh, that stretch is nice. And back to center. All right, turn your head to the right and back to center. Now, just to make sure that you're really in this work, you are not relying on the carriage, right? You're steady pushing back and down. Turn your head to the right, because I just caught myself kind of cheating a little bit. Turn your head to the right one more time. And then back to center, release that arm forward. Ooh, alrighty. So keep your right arm around your stomach if you had it there, right? That's your feedback, just kind of like how we do with a short box. So left fist into your sternum, roll yourself back, finds that half roll back, and then roll yourself back up. Again, pelvis leads the way first. Pubic bone tips back to your navel. And then roll yourself up. So make sure that you're rolling center or back through center, right? I'm not going off to the right, to the left. Now hold here in that half roll back. Unhook the ankles if you've got them hooked. And now that hand goes forward and then curl it back in. Now, as my hand is coming in, I'm thinking of my elbow going forward. And for me, I just get this lovely stretch like in the back of my neck and my upper traps. And so that's kind of what I'm chasing, is that. All while keeping everything else stable. I don't know if you can hear that quiver in my voice. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one, keep your fists at your sternum and then roll yourself all the way up. Awesome, let's bring those arms up to 90. Palms are facing in. Try to square your body off as best you can. Keep this flat back, stable shoulder girdle, hinge back, go back, stretch back, and then hinge back up. Ooh, this side is definitely weaker. Inhale takes you back. And then exhale, lift, lift, lift. You got it. Legs are tight, they're hugging in. And then lift, lift, lift. Make sure your fingertips are in line, your elbows are in line. 2 more, you got this. And lift, lift, lift. Make sure you're taking that gaze kind of up the wall, up the ceiling. Side to the neck, stay long, y'all. Come all the way up, up, up. Awesome. Lower the arms down. I'm gonna switch up my grip. My right hand goes on that rope just above the hardware. Square yourself off. So my right elbow's out to the side, my left arm's reaching forward. Right arm goes forward. Oh, I almost bent the elbow. Left arm goes out to the side and back. And then forward. Find that little opposition and twist here. Right arm forward, left arm back. Arms are being pulled in 2 different directions. That left arm just swivels out to the side. Reach, reach, reach. Oh, that twist feels so good. 2 more here. Remember that little hinge forward, little reach forward. Legs and pelvis stay square, y'all. They are not moving, just the upper body. Reach, reach, reach. Awesome. Oh, that was magical. Okay, so let's go ahead now. What are we on? Light springs. I'm gonna stay on my light spring, which is my blue spring. I'm gonna grab my short box, okay? Short box on. Flush up against your shoulder blocks here. All right, and then of course, make sure it's even. All right, the foot bar is going to stay down. Yes, foot bar is going to stay down. Okay, careful, it's a light spring. I want you to step up onto your reformer. Hands are gonna come onto the box. Okay, so first your feet are about hip socket distance apart. They're in parallel right now, all right? And you're right in the center of your carriage. Step your left foot back. So I like when my toes are hanging off the edge. That's just my personal preference, wherever you feel safe with your left foot on your platform, okay? So I'm just on my hands right now. Both legs are straight. I'm just gonna drop my head, round my spine. Think of like lifting my ribs, my belly up. And just find a stretch here. All right, keep the legs straight and now glide the carriage out a little bit. Take it easy. And then pull the carriage back in. Glide the carriage out. And then pull to come back in. Think of there being like, maybe like 60, 70% of your weight is in your right leg, your front leg, and the rest is in your back leg. And pull back in. Last one. And drag it back in. Okay, now we're gonna bend into the front knee. Bend into the front knee. Come out into a lunge. Flatten the back out and hold here. I want you to think of your right hip spiraling back and your left hip spiraling forward, okay? And now as the carriage comes in, I'm gonna drop my head. I'm gonna straighten my right leg. Pull the carriage back in. All right, bend into that front knee, press the carriage out, flatten the back out, maybe even find like a little baby extension. Now hold here again. When you're here, there's a tripod connection down through your front foot, okay? I felt myself kind of tipping into my toes, but I really wanna stay connected to my heel just as much, all right? And then round, drag the carriage back in. Again, press it out. Reach the heart forward. Lift the ribs, round the spine, drag the carriage back in. And the whole time, you're still thinking of like this, trying to create space between ribs and that right thigh, even if, right, it doesn't happen. And all I mean by that is we're just not sinking. We're just not, right? We're trying to stay lifted the whole time. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel that right hip. Still keeping about that like 60–70% of the weight forward. Last one here. Glide the carriage out. Tripod connection through that front foot. You want to make things harder on yourself. You just get really light on your hands, okay? So my front knee is going to stay right over the center of my foot here. My back heel, I'm going to lift it and I'm going to flex it. I'm going to lift it and I'm going to flex it. So the only reason the carriage is moving right now is because I'm flexing and pointing that back heel. My back leg is trying to stay razor straight, even if it doesn't look like it, it's trying. And I'm also trying to get really light on my hands, but I feel like I'm just getting heavier as my right leg gets tired. For 2. And last one. All right, keep that back heel lifted. All right, whoo-hoo. Left hand stays down. My right arm's gonna reach up to the ceiling. And then I'm gonna take my right elbow down towards the box. I'm gonna try to tap the box, and then right arm goes up. So nothing else right now is moving. Not the carriage. Oh. So keep working that inner thigh connection. That right knee's not winging out as you do this twist. I don't know about you, my right leg is on fire. We've got 3. Push that box away. And 2. Last one. Arm reaches up, hand comes down, straighten both legs to bring the carriage in. All right. Left foot comes on, right foot steps back. Make sure you're in that parallel hip socket distance apart here. All righty, so keep the legs straight, glide it out a little bit, and then pull it back in. So when you work this pull back in, remember it's not a weight shift back, you're pulling the carriage in from the back of your leg, your left leg. That hip, that thigh. It's almost like a single leg elephant in a way. Good, last one here. Back heel just stays lifted. All right, now we bend into that front knee. Pause when you're out here. Think left hip back, right hip forward, and then straighten the leg and drag it back in. Take your time with these, and then lift to pull back in. And for me on this side, this is my tighter side, so I'm really trying to focus on like my left hip going to the wall behind me, all while keeping my left knee tracking over the second and third toe, which is tough. Anybody else got creaky knees here? Mine's making all kinds of noise. All right, on this next one, we're gonna stay out there. All right, again, check the weight in your foot. My left knee is right over the center of my foot. Get as light in your hands as you possibly can. That back heel now is gonna point and flex. So how stable can you keep that left leg now as the right heel, right ankle challenges everything else? How about those ribs? I can feel mine starting to sink down. How about you? Are you there with me? You can always come up onto your fists. I forgot to mention that, right? If your wrists are getting a little cranky. Oh, tiny but mighty. Maybe that's what I should change this title to. Let's do 3. Neck long. 2. Chest reaching forward. Last one. All right, so back heel stays lifted. Left arm reaches up to the ceiling. Elbow comes down. Leg is trembling. Elbow down. And up. So again, try to stabilize the carriage, your hips. Hang in there with me, y'all. I am feeling this just as much as you. Oh my gosh. For 3, you got this. And 2. Last one. Oh, hand comes down. Glide the carriage in. Awesome. Step both feet on and just kind of shake it out a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and step you off. All right, we're gonna put the foot bar up into your footwork position, and we're gonna stay with this light spring on. We're gonna have a seat on your box, pretty close to the front edge. So I want you to place your toes onto the foot bar here. All right, and then let's do like a little Pilates V. All right, so when you've got your legs straight, all right, carriage is out, I just want you to feel like, get the position of your feet, because I feel like I kind of slipped down. I got to go maybe a little bit more on top. All right, reach the arms forward. Think of them just kind of pressing down and into something, and that should help you kind of grow taller and lift through the spine. And now just bend your knees, pull the carriage home, and then press it right back out. Exhale, pull yourself home, get taller, and then inhale, press it out. Just be careful not to slam the carriage like I just did. I'm pushing down on the foot bar, almost like a little hamstring curl. Now go ahead and press the carriage out. Think of just keeping, like pushing the foot bar away, but also down, and then start to roll your pelvis back into like that half roll back, and just hold here. All right, just hold. Keep that pubic bone back to navel sensation. Reach your right arm up to the ceiling, and then lower it down. Reach your left arm up to the ceiling, and down. Right arm up, and down. Left arm up, and down. Can you do both arms up? And both arms down. Both arms up, both arms down. No shifts in the toes, no shifts in the legs. Inhale, arms up, and down. Last one. Reach the arms forward. Stay in your half roll back if you can. Can you float your right leg up and lower it down? Right leg up and down. Right leg up and down. Now, hold with your right leg hovering wherever you can. Bend the left knee, bring the carriage home, and then press it out. Really work this hollowing sensation through the abdominals and out. Arms are strong. A little bit more of a challenge. Take them out to a letter T or maybe up to the ceiling. And you can always hold on, right? Lots of options here. We have 2. Strong turn out in that right leg, y'all. Last one, hold it out. Open the right leg out to the side a little bit. Lower it down and in. Gonna draw a circle or a square, whatever you'd like. Nothing else moves. Reach for the wall in front of you, y'all. For 3 and 2 and 1. Place the foot down. Roll yourself up. Just take a quick moment. That was a moment. Roll yourself back. Let's see if I can remember all that stuff. All right, left leg, it's gonna lift and lower. So as you do this, make sure again, like we're trying not to shift around a whole lot, meaning we're not rocking from side to side as we lift the leg. Last one. Now hold the leg wherever you can. Bend the right knee, pull the carriage in, and press it out. And just like always, even though the legs are split, that inner thigh is still working. Those inner thighs are still working. Need some assist here. Even though your waistband isn't into the mat of your pants, think of it reaching to the box. All right, now press it out, hold there, lower the leg, open it out to the side, and then around. I think this is the same direction. I can't remember. If it's not, you go the right way. Keep pushing the foot bar away with that right foot. Arms are still strong wherever they're at. Let's do 3. This is a tough one for me. 2. Last one. Lower the leg down and then roll yourself up. Alrighty, let's bring the carriage in. You're gonna switch it now to a medium spring. 1 medium spring. So for me, that's a red. I'm gonna take my light spring off. 1 medium. I was teaching last night and I said 1 medium spring and I had 2 poor girls with like 4 springs on. Oh, I felt for them. But anyways, 1 medium spring. Okay, and I didn't catch it right away. I'm so sorry. Alrighty, so on your stomach, forehead is gonna be in line with the edge of the box here. I mean, in line with the foot bar. So rest your forehead onto the foot bar. Did I say that all right? Hands are just wide on the foot bar, all the things. So let your legs just separate where it feels natural. We're not forcing them wide, we're not forcing them in. And let the legs be heavy. All right, so keep reaching the legs kind of down a little bit. And now curl your tailbone like you're going between the legs. So like your pubic bone is reaching down into the box, and feel like your upper abdomen is trying to lift away from the box. All right, and just hold here, and then just relax. And forgive me, I think I cued you wrong. I'm gonna rest my forehead in my hands and we'll eventually go to wide hands, okay? So let's do that again. My legs are reaching long here. They're gonna kind of drop down with intention. Curl the tailbone under, and now try to lift the upper abdominals, the ribs, so it almost feels like you're rounding. And then just relax back down. That made it much better. All right, let's do that again. Legs reach away, tailbone curls under, upper abdominals try to lift off the box, and now hold here. Can you keep the lift of the abdomen and of the ribs, but now try to lift the legs up a little bit. And now hold, 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 and then lower them back down, and then just relax. Notice how limiting it might feel, but how much more you feel it in your booty and not your low back, right? That's the goal here. So let's do that again, all right? So tailbone is long, pubic bone into the box, legs are reaching, upper abdomen is trying to hover off the box. And now keep that shape. Can you try to lift the legs and hold, 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 and then lengthen back down. If you are feeling this in the low back, then you're lifting your legs too high. Let's do that one more time. Hollow out through the belly. Pubic bone is into the box, but also kind of lifting up to the navel. And now try to lift those legs up. Good, hold, hold, hold. All right, and then lower down. Now take your hands wide on the foot bar, okay? We're gonna try and play around with that, all right? With the arms straight. So find energy into the legs, hollow out through the belly as much as you can. Now press the carriage out to straight arms, all right? Now, could you lift your chest up off the box a little bit? All right, so again, I'm thinking of this kind of rounding up and over as opposed to extension, and then just lower back down, all right? So I'm not taking my gaze up. My gaze stays looking down to the floor. Legs are energized, they're reaching down. Tuck the pelvis, and now find a little lift up. So I've got to use my arms here. Hold, 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 and then lengthen back down. One more time here, all right? Lift up through the upper abdomen, pull apart on that foot bar. Hold, 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 and then lower back down. Buddha, I don't know if this is just hard or it's just you that's making this hard. All right, so let's just go ahead and bend the elbows, bring the carriage in. Press it right back out again. Okay, now we're gonna play around with extension, keeping this lift of the abdomen up into the spine, all right? So now re-energize the legs, lift up, and then when you feel like, okay, I can't go anymore, now maybe take your gaze up and forward. So maybe find a little bit of extension here at the top, and then lengthen all the way back down. So we're kind of going through 3 spinal positions here. Bend the elbows wide, come all the way home. Booty, you're kind of throwing me off right now. All right, pull apart on the foot bar, legs reach down, tailbone curls under. We kind of round to lift, then we pass through a long line, then find extension, right? Keep lifting up through the abdominals, and then lengthen to come all the way down. All right, bend the elbows wide, come all the way home. Last one here. All right, legs reach down, round to lift, and then you pass through that long line. Then maybe find extension. So heart reaches forward, collarbones open at the top, and then lengthen all the way down. Bend your elbows wide, come all the way home. All right, so we're gonna stay on this same spring. We're gonna keep the long box on and just finish with a nice stretch. All right, so you're gonna come seated on the box, kind of at the edge here, or just at least where you feel supported and you're not sitting on your cat. Place your toes on the foot bar. I'm gonna grab onto the foot bar, okay? If this feels impossible for you, you can always take your feet down here and then your hands up here, okay? So my arms are to the side of my legs. I'm in a little Pilates V, but honestly, right, you do you if you gotta go parallel, okay? So I'm gonna push with my feet and pull with my arms. I'm gonna push the carriage out to try and straighten my legs. And then as I bend my knees, pull the carriage home, I'm gonna think of my hips kind of going under me, my belly pulling back just to exaggerate the stretch. And let's do that again. One more time, little monkey stretch here. Let the head relax and then bring it all the way home. All right, now I'm gonna take my left hand into the center of the foot bar, okay? So my left knee can kind of drop out to the side. I'm now gonna press the carriage out. So my upper body's kind of leaning to the right, but my left hip is trying to stay anchored down. And then bring the carriage in. One more time like that. So lean the upper body to the right, left knee is kind of going out to the left, and then pull the carriage in. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. Left hand goes to the far left, right hand to the center. Press the carriage out. And then drag it back in. I'm still pushing with my feet and pulling with that right arm. And then drag it back in. Awesome work today. I do hope you felt just a little bit more supported through the extension that we did here. I know for me personally, my low back felt like amazing. I've been having to be very careful about it lately. So just trying to kind of get the abdomen involved as opposed to just like dumping right into the low back. But other than that, I do hope you enjoyed today's session. I got a good sweat going. I got a good shake on as well. And then I hope to see you again. Thanks, y'all.